Let's start with Chris Marks. A big round of applause for Chris.
Intro music and everything, that's pretty awesome. So I guess I'm first. I wasn't supposed to be first. It seems strangely, those lights were really bright. It seems strangely apropos, because what I did for Follow Your Fear Day, as far as I know, I'm the first person who's actually done it. What I've always wanted to do was write a novel. And I've had tons of ideas. And I've even started a couple of them. But they always sort of went away. And it's because I had other things to do. Things like watching TV, playing video games, sleeping, things that don't actually matter. And I realized a few months ago, that's stupid. If the things that I'm putting it off for are things as unimportant as watching what other people have done, like TV that I can watch literally anytime I want to, then clearly that's not the real reason that I'm putting it off. Because that's not a reason to put off anything. The thing with writing or creation in general is no one ever creates something unless they want other people to see it. And that means opening yourself up for judgment. And the possibility that whatever you've done, people will not like. And the idea of putting a whole bunch of time into something and then being shot down like that is like no one looks forward to that. Which makes it very ironic that it's actually the best thing that could possibly happen to you, because that's how you learn what you did wrong and how to get better. But that anticipation followed by letdown on its own is just terrifying. So the way that I decided to confront this was by making a public commitment online to write a few pages every day and then post online immediately whatever I'd written. And as far as I know, no one else has done that, because it turns out it's a really bad way to write a story. Not so much the posting in pieces online, but doing it immediately, because what I ended up doing was putting out a first draft. And there's a reason that you have never seen any author's first draft, because usually it's really bad. And there's no telling what's going to happen. And in my case particularly, because I had made a public commitment to do this, if I got a couple chapters in and found out that no one liked it, there's only three things I can do. I can either stop, which negates everything. I can hope that they come around, which is ridiculously arrogant. Or I can try to change on the fly everything I had planned. And I planned out most of the plot. Now, in my case, I was fortunate because I got nothing but positive feedback as I was writing it. The story, since I'm sure some of you at least are curious, is basically the reverse of that terrible movie Devil. In Devil, you have to stay lit or else you die. In my story, you have to stay unlit or else you die, except the sun's coming up in a few hours, and the entire city has windows. So how do you survive in a world where as soon as the sun hits you, you will literally explode and have no idea what did it to you? And it seemed like an interesting concept to me, and people seemed to enjoy it. 89 days later, I finally put up the last piece, and I put up the last chapter as an entire item. And if you look in the programs, one of the links under me, Chris Marks, is roosterteeth.com/Demano, and that's a place that you can go and read the entire story if you want to. And I think it worked in the format that I put it up in, but it's going to take a lot of editing to make it work as a single manuscript. So the first draft is written, but that isn't really going to get it out for a lot of people to read, which is the point of writing. So what I'm doing now is, at 4:30 this afternoon, I opened up an Indiegogo campaign to raise money so I can actually spend my time working on it. And there's a link to that at the other link in the program form, because if I'm up here shilling, I may as well shill for myself. Go to chrismarks.net, scroll to that's just the single page set I put up for the book, and you can read the first chapter in PDF and scroll down to the bottom, and there's a link to the campaign and to the video that I did with Todd. But the real point of Follow Your Fear Day is to do something that I think everyone should do anyway. I think that the more afraid you are to do something, the more important it is that you do it as soon as possible. Because in most cases, fear of doing something comes from the unknown, not knowing what's going to happen. I have never bungee jumped. I kind of know what's going to happen if I do, so I'm not afraid of it. But it's a great example to use, because a lot of people do not want to look down and see nothing but nothing, and then jump, no matter how strong the rubber band hooked onto your ankles is. And if you've always been afraid to bungee jump, then the closer you get to doing it, the more afraid you're going to be. But as soon as you actually do it, you will have done it. There'll be no more mystery to it. You can go up and do it again, because you've already done it once. So what's doing it a second time? Someone can come up to you in 5 years and go, "You ever gone bungee jumping?" It seems scary. You can go, "I did that." There's nothing to it. Man up, do it.
Yeah.
I don't really have an end, so I'm just going to walk off.